Good evening, my name is Erin Mall, and I'm here to discuss parental advocacy tips and tricks. So I have a lot of experience with this. I have children who are developmentally and intellectually disabled, and then I also work for a day program for individuals with developmental disabilities. Okay, so what is advocacy? Advocacy is the most important weapon that one can have when fighting for their child. Merriam-Webster defines advocacy as the act or process of supporting a cause or proposal. There's different types of advocacy. We have self-advocacy, professional advocacy, and parental advocacy. We're going to focus mainly on parental, but we're going to discuss the other ones as well. Self-advocacy defines the ability to speak up for oneself, and is part of the self-advocacy movement to get individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities to learn how to fight for their own rights. And it's something that we all should start to teach our children at a young age so that there's less issues when they become adults. Professional advocacy is the use of professional services to ensure your child is getting the proper services that are needed in the classroom. It's typically used when school systems are struggling with meeting parental requests. And then we have parental advocacy. Parental advocacy is where you as a parent use your knowledge and experience of the educational system to fight for what services your child requires. It can be overwhelming, but as long as you go prepared, you should do pretty good. Children with special needs are entitled to certain services as a matter of law, but not all school districts provide what's legally required. And that is an excerpt from Ann Foster's Preparing Parents to Advocate for a Child with Autism article. All right, so now we've got to know the lingo. So this alphabet soup that I like to call it. We have a PPT, that's the Planning and Placement Team meeting. We have FAPE, which is the Free and Appropriate Public Education Act. We have an IEP, which is an individualized education plan. We have a PT, which is physical therapy, OT, occupational therapy, and ST, speech therapy. A PPT is a meeting used to discuss what goals your child has and what goals will need to be worked on in the upcoming year. An IEP is the actual plan that these goals are written on. So it also explains who's going to work on these goals, as far as the therapist, the teacher, the child, or even the parent. And FAPE is part of a federal law that ensures your child gets proper education with modifications where needed. PT is where your child will work on their gross motor skills. So walking steadily, their balance, so moving on and up and down stairs. OT is where your child will work on their fine motor skills. So that's using scissors, cutting the paper, using a proper pencil hold, the pincher grasp, that sort of stuff. And speech is where your child will work on pronunciation or any other speech or verbal deficit that they may have. Now please keep in mind that any of these therapies will only cover what's required in school and will not cover issues that may not be needed for school. So you may need to have a PT, OT, or speech also work with your child at home. So now what can you do? The first thing you want to do is keep copies of all documents. Starting from today on, keep any reports, evaluations, work samples, assessments. All of these evaluations and reports can keep you on track as to far what your child has done, where your child has started, and where they're at now. And if there's anything that they're struggling with year after year, you'll be able to track it a little easier. Another thing you want to do is learn all you can about your child's disability. So you want to attend workshops, speak with parents, join local and online organizations. Know that as a parent, you are in control. It's ultimately your decision, so you want to take a deep breath, go in, ask politely, and if you need to decline a service because you feel that it's not appropriate for your child, respectfully decline any recommendation that you do not agree with. If you ask nicely for any of this stuff, you will be able to get more for your child and get more out of the educational experience for your child. So being an advocate means helping your child. It will not help if you're worked up, and it also does not help if you have a negative attitude towards the system. All right, so here's some great resources for you. You have FAPE.org, you have understood.org, and LDAamerica.org. So these sites can give you great insight on different tips and tricks that I have not mentioned, and they can also keep you updated on any changes in the law or any changes in the school systems in your area. So I want to thank my camera woman, my 11-year-old Madeline, who helped me record. And just remember, you are not alone.